716 Animalz, stand up, everyone in the buff.
Hey YouTube, C-Map716 back in another video. This is actually be my Madden retail copy review. Some people don't like retail copy reviews done only a few days, a day after the release, but I feel like, especially with sports titles, how long and how many games you actually need to play to see a game's full potential. It's not like it's a Tomb Raider, Grand Theft Auto, a Metal Gear Solid, to where you're actually gonna have to play the game a lot longer to see everything that you can do in it. But sports titles, you pretty much know what you're getting and the full potential of the game, just, I would say, after a few games of playing it. That's just my opinion on that. I will say this before I even start the review. I've been picking up the Madden NCAA series for a long time now. It's been 11 years for Madden, and it's been 9 years for NCAA. So I can say that I'm a fan of the series. I do like the direction in which they are going, and that this is the best playing Madden to date. I'd even say that it's the best playing football game to date. But when you're looking at a sports game, you have to look at it from two sides: the fun factor and the simulation side. Fun factor, Madden NCAA passes with flying colors. A+, I'd give it. I have a ton of fun playing these games, and it's just overall, it is a great time, and I have a lot of fun. Like I said already, anytime I play a game of Madden NCAA. In terms of from the simulation side, I can say this is the best playing Madden in terms of simulation to date. But at best, I would say Madden is below average when it comes to replicating the game of football in a simulation. In a nutshell, that pretty much tells you how I felt about the rest of the games on this console generation in terms of it as being simulation. So I would say, in terms of the fun factor, this is the best Madden, best football game to date. In terms of it being simulation, not even close. I would say this is the best I'd give it. It's just tipping the iceberg to Madden and NCAA's on the previous generation. A lot of people might not like that statement, but it's, in my opinion, the truth. I feel like it's going to be very hard to argue that I'm wrong about this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of the video. Talking about the actual game and the gameplay. First, we're gonna go and talk about their 3 selling points this year. Number 1 was run free. Run free, I can finally say in Madden that the running game is back. It finally feels like you have to be somewhat knowledgeable about running the ball this year. Like, you have to hit the hole when it opens. You can actually you can press the outside, cut it back inside. So it seems like it's a little bit more strategic this year when it comes to running, and that is very, very good to see. What else about the running game? It feels like if you don't follow your blocks and you don't know what's going on in front of you in terms of your blocking, then you will not be successful running the ball in Madden NCAA. Pretty much, run free is what we've seen in NCAA plus the precision modifier. The precision modifier is a bunch of new moves added to the game to just to maximize your running back's potential. I will say this about Madden and its running: it feels very, very stale. And the reason why I say that, I hate to bring this game up, All Pro Football 2K8. You had so many different running styles in that game, and you can have so many different running abilities put together to have a different running back. Like for speed, agility, and elusive backs, you had Barry Sanders and Gale Sayers. Both of these running backs are elusive backs, but they ran so differently, and you had to run different plays for them to maximize their potential. and that's what's lacking in this Madden series. You had power backs, players like Christian Okoye and Earl Campbell, Barry Foster, 3 power backs. You had to run different plays for them to maximize their potential, and all 3 of them ran differently. Yale Sayers, Barry Sanders, they ran differently from each other, even though they were the same style of back. That's not the case in Madden. I played a game with, obviously, the Buffalo Bills, 'cause I'm from Buffalo, and I played a game with the Detroit Lions. There was no difference between the running styles of Reggie Bush and CJ Spiller. Like, I could run the same exact plays for them, and they would both get the same result. Obviously, CJ Spiller's result would be a little bit better because he's a higher rated player, but pretty much in terms of, you know, what you're getting from those 2 players were identical. And that's something that Madden has to work on for next year and for the years down the line, if it's gonna, you know, become a simulation football game. Which, in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, I don't see that anytime soon. I didn't go down a community day or anything, but that's just my opinion on it. Take it or leave it. I'm trying to think what else about Run Free I can talk about. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The running game is much improved for this generation, the best on this generation, but in terms of it feeling different between each running back, they don't really feel that much different. So next we're going to talk about Owner Mode. Owner Mode was introduced to Madden in 2004, arguably to some the best Madden. So it's cool to see Owner Mode back into the series. I'm not sure on the last generation when it was taken out, because it wasn't on every game, I don't think, on the PS2, like after going down the line. I don't remember when it was taken out, but it's cool to see Owner Mode back. Another feature that Madden took out last year but is back this year is the imported draft classes. So it's cool to see that feature back in Madden as well. It pretty much, to me, I feel like that's one of the most important features that Madden has in terms of its franchise mode, because after you play your seasons at NCAA, you kind of want to see how the players you recruited do at the next level, and you want to see how the players that are already on the game, how they're gonna do and where they're gonna be drafted at. And you know, it's just good. It's just cool to see that overall back into the game of the series this year. I can say this about the franchise mode: since 2012, it's really been on the uprise. Like, they've really been doing a lot to bring it back to where it was on the previous console generation. Because Madden 11 back, the franchise mode was terrible. Wasn't really much to do. They had the post game, like how ESPN 2K5 did their post week game report. That put that into Madden. I know it was in Madden 10, and it was just awful. So they've been pretty much, I would say they've been on the uprise in terms of their franchise mode. Finally, we're going to talk about Infinity Engine 2.0 and the Force Impact system. Both of these were also seen in NCAA 14 this year. I can say that it's been revamped for this game. Like, you don't see as many crazy physics moments. At least I haven't yet in the games that I've played. In NCAA, you'd see guys, fly into the air and do backflips and front flips and all this craziness. You don't see it happens that much in Madden. At least I haven't yet, like I've said. So, the hits actually look pretty brutal. Like, it was a play where not Cam Newton, but Robert Griffin was scrambling on a play, and he met my linebacker, and the hit was just was a devastating hit. So I can say that compared to NCAA, that the physics engine and not the Force Impact system, because Force Impact is pretty much just like the tackling and your stiff arms and stuff, and the truck stick, that pretty much is the same. So, but in terms of Infinity Engine 2.0, it plays a lot better in Madden than it does in NCAA, in my opinion. And another thing, talking about the physics engine, because I feel like the physics engine is overpowered by animations in this game. Like there's been plenty of times where I've seen like a shoelace tackle and the guy spins down, but you can't hit him while the guy's spinning down. Like that, he has to play out that spin down animation while he's falling to the ground, or while a player's fighting for extra yards. There's an animation to like where a player's fighting for extra yards. You can't do anything to, to stop or to do anything while the animation is playing out. That's something that EA Sports and Madden and NCAA all have to work on. They have to work on the game feeling more organic and getting away from the animations and going more toward a true and full out physics engine. Oh, I forgot to touch on this with Run Free. We are in 2013, and there's no reason why, especially by now, we don't have specific run animations for players. It was already in Madden 2007, so I don't want to hear that it can't be done, because Madden 2007 had running animations, and these are people I know they had running animations for. There's videos on YouTube showing this. Reggie Bush, Tiki Barber, Clinton Portis, and Willis McGahee. I'm almost positive that all four of those guys had specific run animations in terms of Madden 2007. Maybe 2006, but Madden 2007, I know that those guys had running animations, and there's no reason why we don't have that now. Specific run animations for players. And even if we didn't have specific run animation for players, we should have it to where, if you're an elusive guy, you have multiple animations to choose from. If you're a power guy, you have multiple animations to choose from. Or if you're just a balanced running back, you have multiple animations to choose from. They should have different run animations for every single player on the field. Wide receivers, quarterbacks, linemen, everyone should have different run animations. Like, it shouldn't look the same when CJ Spiller is running the ball versus a Steven Jackson versus Arian Foster. All these guys should have different run animations. And it's pretty much sad that that's not the case yet. Hopefully that's addressed for the future, but only time will tell for that. And they had specific run animations. Some players had them for Football 2K8, so it can be done. They do have specific throw animations, and I feel like that needs to be addressed on as well, because they have them for short passes, but they need to have them for all their passes. Like, they need to have specific throw animations for every quarterback for short, medium, and long throws, because for the most part, every quarterback has the same throwing animation, except for when it's a specific pass. So that's something that needs to be touched on, in my opinion, for the future. Because you figure, you have a player like Tim Tebow, who has a very slow throwing animation, but if he is throwing a certain distance down the field, like deep down the field, it looks the exact same way. It might not be the exact same result, but it looks the exact same way as if Tom Brady or another quarterback is throwing down the field. So yeah, we'll get into gameplay real quick. Only got a little bit of time left in the video. Gameplay, I'd say, in terms of it from NCAA, the defense plays a lot more as a unit, plays a lot more tight. You don't see as many passing catches over the middle, and just catching in general on the game is a lot more realistic. Like, you see a lot more drop passes on contact. You see a lot more fumbles on big hits. And overall, I just feel like it plays a lot better than NCAA does this year. In some instances, NCAA plays better and plays more smooth, but overall, I'd say Madden plays a lot better. In my review for Madden, I'd give it a 7.5.